Okay, so I know we do news, but I do like this. I'm reading. It's so fucking funny. I'm reading a book right now called Endangered Eating. Right.
I thought you were just gonna end it with I'm reading a book.
I'm just reading a book right now.
This is so funny. I'm reading a book.
And the show. And the fucking show. And no, I'm reading a book called Endangered Eating, right? And it talks about basically really quick fucking thing, endangered foods, and how there's like a group that's organized to make sure these foods that are like culturally relevant, sustainable,
Okay.
blah blah blah, important to the whole world, right? Is preserved so it can continue to be eaten and spread awareness, whatever. And so it starts off with dates. You know dates?
Yeah.
You ever eat a date?
I don't think I have, to be
Me
honest.
neither. I've eaten a prune. I think I've eaten dates like twice, but the whole fucking chapter, bro. I'm reading this book. I'm like, God damn, bro, I did not know there was this much shit about dates to learn. It's a really good book, but it read
You're like 3 chapters in. It's all about fucking dates and prunes, and you're like,
I
yo,
just-
man, this shit is crazy.
this shit is wild. And I just got to sugar cane. It's crazy too.
Yeah, this is
Polynesians
the
and
shit
shit like
that
that.
Franky's reading, y'all.
It's wild, bro. The shit I can tell you about sugar cane is so crazy. But I learned about
This is the
dates.
sugar cane segment with Franky.
The dates come from the Middle East. They brought over here some motherfucker with his boy. They went to the Middle East. They want to bring him over. They tried to bring him over. They went exposed, so they went back. Oh man, it's crazy. Anyway, but that all led to the Olympics in 1972. I don't know if you heard about this, but it was the 1972 Munich Massacre.
This sounds somewhat
Familiar?
familiar.
Let me see. I think this is my longest story, and it's not too long, but I think it's so interesting because basically what she was saying in the book is that there's date festivals in Coachella, California, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Because it's really a huge economic booster over there, right? But the way they used to display the festival would be because a lot of these dates come from the Middle East,
Okay.
right? That's why they praise the date in a certain way, and they use a way to represent the Middle East like they do in movies.
Gotcha.
You know, with the hi, you know, like that.
Orange tint everywhere.
Yeah. But even though that's more of a way to represent it through movies than what it actually is in the Middle East.
Gotcha.
Right? But she found it odd because when she went over there to observe the festival, it was very fun. But a lot of stuff was happening in terms of like deporting people who are Muslim in the like, you know, trying to get rid of them because of that happened in like not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to get rid of them or this and that or like whatever. Like really recent, you know? And so one of the things was she brought up this was happening in 1972 basically the Olympics was happening, right? It was basically about the Israeli Olympic team and then the Palestinian militant group called Black September, right?
Okay.
And so in 1972 the Olympics hasn't been in Germany since 1936, which is when Hitler was there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Fucking what, like 30, 40 years?
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
So that was the last time the Olympics was held in Germany, right? And I think 4 years before that in Mexico, 1968, there was a big shooting 10 days before the Olympics. It was in Tlatelolco Plaza in Mexico, where the government gunned down hundreds of students.
The government? What the fuck?
That's 10 days before the Olympics in 1968 in Mexico.
And this
So-
is in a book about food?
Yeah,
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying, man. So, 4 years after, the Olympics are being held in Germany, right? Less than $2 million were spent on security. The security was unarmed, inconspicuous, and non-confrontational. So they really didn't really stress security. They thought everything would be fine, right? On September 5th at 4:30 a.m., 8 Palestinians of the group Black September entered Olympic Village. Everything began on September 5th at 4:30 a.m., right? So 8 Palestinians from the group Black September entered Olympic Village, and they entered by climbing a fence. So imagine
Bruh.
nowadays, like, you know,
Was it just like a small ass fucking fence?
it was 2
like,
feet tall. They were just
like, what the fuck? For the Olympics?
for
like,
yeah. So they didn't really care, and it's interesting
Clearly.
because yeah, and they disguised themselves as athletes, and they had keys to they stole some keys,
bro,
into-
what in the
yeah.
hitman? Yo, this is crazy.
So
I don't think I have heard about this.
So okay, I'm gonna tell it really smoothly, right? I'm gonna get my shit together. Hold on, let me listen to the beer. Right? 'Cause I think
I'm gonna
this
tell it
is-
smoothly.
Anyway, will you marry? Okay, no. So point and blank, Olympics in Germany, right? Has been a while since Hitler, so kind of a bad vibe already. And whatever.
The vibes are off.
Palestinians group, Black September, a terrorist group, sneaking in to the Israeli area of Olympic Village where all the Olympians stay, right? So that's happening, right? Happens on September 5th, 4:30 a.m. They sneak in, they have keys, they disguise themselves, right? And they find 3 apartments where the Israeli team is staying, right? They find the Israeli ref and coach, and they got confronted. But they held the coach at gunpoint, and they forced them to lead like the group to the rooms, right? Now, the coach led them to the room with the wrestlers.
Okay.
Because he felt they would have a better chance at fighting back.
Wow.
But the group, Black September.
Oh, wow. Got some crazy shot glasses, guys.
Get that Brugal, bro.
Yeah. Oh, no.
The group.
Yeah, I missed abuelito for your bottle of Brugal.
I do have a bottle of Brugal, guys.
It's Thanksgiving. Up to you, dog. Let's finish this story. We'll decide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the coach led them to the room of the wrestlers because they thought the wrestlers would have a better chance to fight back.
That is smart, though.
Yes, it's actually pretty smart on the spot thinking when people hold guns to your face. But regardless, Black September, the group Black September already had a detailed map of the whole village.
Oh,
like
that's
they were,
crazy,
which is crazy in general, right?
Wow.
So they didn't really need that, but they went to every room except the one filled with Israeli marksmen because they were like they're probably gonna shoot us back, you know. So they got all the Israelis. They put them in apartment 1. There's 3 apartments. They put them in apartment 1.
Okay.
The coach fought back and he almost grabbed a gun, but he was shot. Right, one weightlifter fought back while he was on crutches. And he was shot and killed. And to send a message, he was left in the floor of apartment 1 in front of all the hostages to send a message.
Wow.
Right? This is all fucking for real, you know what I mean? In a book about food.
Yeah, in a fucking book about food.
This I looked up, but she mentioned this Massacre. So you know what I mean?
And,
so,
you know, it's right between the chapters about dates and prunes.
So
next chapter, we'll be talking about celery.
Oh, no. Really good book called Endangered Eating by
Sarah Lohman.
I'll send you the name. Okay. So already 2 dead Israelis, 9 Israeli hostages, and the chairman of the International Olympic Committee, I really want to get his name, Avery Brundage, right? He insisted that the games continued. He said, I don't care.
What the fuck?
He didn't say I don't care, but he basically said, games going on. We got a show must go on, right? And then he also refused to boycott the 1936 games in Nazi Germany.
Wow.
So it already shows a lot about who this guy is. Also, longest time he's been alive and head of the committee. But I really want to stress that name because you should know that name. And that guy's an asshole. People getting shot.
Know the name.
Remember the name. I mean, honestly, I should put the names of the people who got killed and shot. I was gonna do that. That was mad work. I'm not gonna lie to you. You could look that shit up on you. So
I mean, I'm sure it's a lot too.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. So all the group wanted Black September, the Palestinians, and again, this is I know a lot of shit's going on with Israel Palestine. This is not at all
connected to.
Yeah, this is not. This is just
historical.
Something I came across that was historical that just happens to be in a time of blah blah blah. So they wanted
just a little quinky dink,
but it's relevant because what they wanted. What do you think they wanted? I know you won't guess it, but I just need to take a sip of beer.
I don't know, man. I feel like that would just. I feel like for any reason that like organizations do this shit is to kind of just send a message or like cause chaos or just like.
They wanted to release 200 Palestinians that were held in Israeli prisons. So you were close.
Yeah, bitch, that's what I fucking thought, you know?
Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Let's go give it to you. He gon' give it to you.
So they also wanted the release of Andreas Boller and Ulrich Menhoff, which is 2 people from the Red Army faction that were held in German prisons, right? And to escape, they demanded an airplane that would fly them to the Middle East and all that stuff, right? But they had a planned rescue attempt, the Germans and everything. And but they had a plan, right? They were like, we're going to go do this shit. We're going to save these Israelis. But you got to remember, the Olympics is being broadcasted to 1 billion people. So they couldn't do anything. They were like, we can't save nobody.
That's an eighth of the population.
So on September 5th,
Yeah,
the
I can
next
do
day,
math.
I know, bro, you're smart. Oh man, just throw it back to. So on September 5th, 10 p.m., right? There was an agreement, and Black September led the hostages to buses and helicopters. So out of Olympic Village into the transportation, and they arrived at this place I can't pronounce, but I'll try. Furstenfeldbruck, right? We could put the spelling above me,
Sounds legit.
where an ambush was awaiting them. Right?
That's crazy.
A German
What
ambush
the
was.
fuck?
This is all real. A German ambush was awaiting the transport of the hostages from Black September group. So now the ambush was being set up without the German army because due to West Germany's post-war constitution, it forbidded them from helping civilian police. So that's even
Wow.
more in depth history. So they couldn't help. They just watched.
Yeah.
And the police were like, fuck. So,
Damn.
boy, the snipers for the police, they didn't have snipers. They had assault rifles. And they placed them improperly and with adequate training, right?
Oh my god, they just fucking put Jerry up there with an AK-47.
Yo, try your best. You can do it. They also had no radios to communicate with anybody.
Amazing.
And the assault rifles,
Do you see him?
no, all right, shoot. Also, the assault rifles, no long range scopes, no night vision. This
Fuck, man.
it's all real. It's crazy how this is why I wanted to bring it up because it's news at one point, right? But it's actually really interesting. So Black September headed toward the plane filled with 17 disguised police officers, and the police officers obviously were gonna subdue them when they boarded, right? But they abandoned their post. The cops, they said nah, and the backup armored cars that was supposed to help stuck in traffic,
Bruh.
and they got there late, right?
That's how I know this story is real. They got stuck in traffic. Boy. Yo.
Oh, the deaths? Nah, forget that. Traffic? Hell yeah. So when they got into the plane, the group Black September saw through the ambush and yelled out to the comrades that they had around them and started shooting everywhere. A couple people from the group were shot and killed, and one cop died. The floodlights illuminating the airport went out because they were shot. So every now and then you heard random bursts of gunfire.
Jeez.
You were like, what the fuck's happening?
And it was like nighttime and stuff, right? Yeah.
So around
That's
midnight, a German official announced that all the hostages had been freed with all terrorists being killed. Everybody was happy. A little bit after, this is crazy. A terrorist tossed a hand grenade into one of the helicopters and killed every hostage except one. So the broadcast wasn't true. They just assumed and they announced to the world or whoever's listening that everybody's safe.
Everyone
and
was
sound.
good. That's
And
crazy.
then a grenade just kills everyone except one person. And the craziest thing is, if I'm not mistaken, the one who survived was an American Israeli, and he survived, but then died due to smoke inhalation. And so another terrorist part of the group sprayed a helicopter full of more hostages and killed the last 5 of them. And so the armored cars stuck in traffic finally arrived.
Hey, we made it, guy.
Pretty much, bro. We're here. So they arrived.
Is it done?
All right. So they finally arrived. And at the same time, a gunman ran straight at one of the snipers and got shot and killed. So
Jeez.
the snipers is there, the cars arrived, but a gunman, I guess, from the group ran towards the sniper, was killed. But it's so dark.
Yeah.
And that gunshot confused everybody. So the armored cars people started to shoot the snipers.
Oh my god, dude. Jesus
And they-
fucking Christ.
And they seriously injured a police officer that was shooting at the terrorist. And eventually 3 Israelis, I think I meant Palestinians. I think 3 Palestinians were captured and everything's finally over. So I think 3 Palestinians from the group were whatever. The next month, 2 Black September members hijacked a plane and rescued the final captured members. So everybody that was part of the group that held everybody hostage, they were jailed, but then were rescued.
That's crazy.
From the same group and then flown to safety and greeted as heroes.
Wow.
So
And then they ran for president.
Is that not a crazy story, bro?
That's pretty wild.
Is
dude.
that not something someone would have to like actually write down? Like,
I can't wait for the movie adaptation of this. That shit's gonna slap.
it's gonna be called A Mess.
A Martin Scorsese film. A Mess. Coming out this summer.
I'll watch that shit. That's a good little, like, you know how they have ad libs for music?
Yeah.
They have the little, you know, when they have post or like in the beginning of a movie, like a little drop falls in the lake and then it's just like bloop. Ba-na-na-na. I'd watch that shit. It's kind of fire.
It's like that the first frame pops up and you're like, fuck yes, give me more of this. Let's go.
But yeah, I think, anyway, I just think that story is so crazy. And I think, you know, with what is it? The SEC, whatever. No, the whole thing that captures the words.
SEO.
I think with the SEO, we're gonna put Israel Palestine in there and all blah and this and that, and we're just gonna get some views.
You know, but at the end of the day, guys, we're just chill guys.
We're just chill motherfuckers trying to talk about this. We're just history. No, but it's actually really insane. It also goes to show how long this has been happening.
Yeah.
You know, and how serious it is, like in terms of like the limits. Although the lengths they'll go just to fucking, you know, but you know they did it for good. I mean, I guess I don't want to say good or bad reason. They did it to free other Palestinians. 200 is a lot of Palestinians to be captured.
Yeah.
I don't have a side on that shit. I don't care. Like I do care, but I don't. You know, anything you say, I just move on. Let the record show.
Franky respects women. Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say.
I was gonna say that I always do appreciate when you bring these historical stories on and stuff because like you know I generally talk about a lot of tech stuff and like way like recent things that come out like pretty immediately and yeah you do that with your quickies but like I like it when we do these little historical dives sometimes. It's
yeah,
cool.
man.
It's, like,
It's because yeah, and coming from someone who hated history in school, I fucking hated history. I was like,
so did I. I hated history,
man.
dude.
I would listen. I'm like, yo, why do I care about this shit? And even then, like. This story really drives you nowhere except makes me sound smarter in conversations about Israel. Like I can
Did
be
you
like,
know about the Munich Massacre?
yeah, like let me inform you actually, because I actually brought her
Let
today.
me inform you, my dear esteemed colleague.
I brought her up today to rehearse for this, so I brought it to my coworkers. We're talking about politics, and I was like, "Did you guys know?"
And they were like, "No, I haven't." You're like,
"Hold on."
"Yes."
"Fuck yeah!"
Can't wait to fuck it.
But now that I do it, on my way to the podcast, we can hit it with one of these.
And here's my resume, bitch.
But no, I think it's incredibly interesting and it's fucking crazy, bro. I even know I learned about some the book I told you how the presidents got assassinated and shit like that, like even things like that. But I think when little spurts, history can be. My bad. I think in little spurts, history can be really fucking dumb. I also think Shane Gillis is a very clever guy for also using historical stories and like input to his material as a comedian. But him, I mean. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
No, I mean, I think overall, like you said, because I feel like we do need to emphasize that this has no connection to
seriously
stuff that's
no
going
connection.
on now.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence. I was reading a book about fruit.
He was reading a book about fruit.
Let's
y'all.
put the page up right here. I'm gonna show you the page and the thing so you can, all right, and I'll send you so you can seriously like